Without wasting much time, time is seriously against us. So now the floor is open for questions and answers. Questions and answer session.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Anyway, the first question is from us, I understand, from a Christian anyway. Well, the question is, did Islam exist before Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or was it brought by him? The man said it was brought by him. Actually, when we say Islam, it is vital and important for one to know the meaning, the definition of Islam, in order to appreciate the answer that we're going to give pertaining to this very important question. When we say Islam, it simply means, voluntarily submitting your entire will, consciously, practically, and in a well-informed manner to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because even the bird, the beast of the jungle, everything in existence is subjected to the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because even the sun, morning, day, night, rain, summer, everything is according to principles innately placed in existence by subhanahu wa ta'ala. For that matter, Islam as a religion, as a way of life, as a cultural crusade, as a civilizational process, as a mental state, as a practical implementation of principles, is existed before Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But you see, it took a process of graduation, because Islam is at 3 levels. It is generalization, it is graduation, and it is accreditation. Generalization, graduation, and gradation. In fact, Islam has been revealed since creation gradually, in line with the psychological, mental, physical maturity of man. Because man was moving through history. He was not yet matured. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed Islam to the first man created, that was Adam, our forefather. Then Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came to complement the entire edifice of Islam. So there is a process of graduation, a process of generalization, a process of gradation, leading to the complete, comprehensive completion of the edifice of Islam. So Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam completed Islam, but Islam was revealed before Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but in a graduated manner and form. And today Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam completed the entire formula of Islam. So this is the answer. I don't know whether you're satisfied. Okay, the next answer is geographical. I landed. The earth has 3 layers, and I also heard from the scholars that the earth has 7 years. 7 years, that makes me very down. Well, actually, I think your question itself reflects your misunderstanding of what the scholars are saying. Your question reflects your misunderstanding or understanding of the question or the issue. In fact, what happened is the earth, the Quran the earth, al-ard in the Quran was mentioned almost 430 times. But the Quran says the earth is a combination of layers. The Quran didn't give just specification. But through your process of discovery, of exploration, of trying to know the hidden secret of nature in nature, in fact, it is discovered that the earth is composed of 3 layers. That is the crust and the mantle and the core, which is 2,900 kilometers deep. And the core, we have 2 sides of the core, the inner core and the outer core. So for example, when we say the earth is 3 layers, it is true. This is why the Quran says, وَالْجِبَالُ أَرْصَاهَا وَالْجِبَالَ أَرْصَاهَا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala وَأَلْقَيْنَا فِيهَا الرَّوَاسِيَ أَن تَمِيدَ بِكُمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, we cause the mountains to be on top of the earth in order to avoid that slippery movement of the earth in the course of its rotation. This is why the earth is moving. Well, this is why what is inside the earth is deeper than what is at the top of the earth. Because the tallest height on the surface of the earth is Mount Everest. It is something like 8,848 feet. But the lowest dip in the deep is something like 10,034 feet. So obviously there is no equality. So the mountains are on the earth to maintain the balance and tamida bikum, so that there is no turbulence in the course of the rotation of the earth. So here it is quite right, but the 7 years of famine, we know that this is just a hypothetical issue that Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, when the king of Egypt, not entire Egypt, but portion of Egypt, saw in a dream that there were 7 cows eating, fat cows eating lean cows, and 7, what they call a bunch of grains, and the one tribe. Here, there is a very, very important managerial principle. That is, we should always base our planning on 7 years. For 7 years of famine, except and until there is a global problem. Maybe, may Allah forbid. Why did the Meccan did not accept Islam when Prophet Muhammad received revelation? Ningine karo beti atabake makam kolo munati ne manso Muhammad la bera anata wahyo jitaka hadama dimo manfengo fen long akasilala. Man is always afraid of whatever he is ignorant of. Makam kolo ya beran Islam nata ila capitalism. Origina la politi barkela kodo busi bulu. Itol yabera kanaka jongon din forol kajandi. Itol yabera Islam nana tabe mol balla kodi jinolale. Itol walatin nakati malon imam bin long ikabalangalale. Wajahadu biha wastaiqanatha anfusuhum zulman wa ulwa. Malakata Fir'auna di Musa. Ay minna ta nyala to nyalo. Bari warwani jahiliya kamala ata yalo ko to nyalo bara man sonna to nyako Musa ay minna di magician wata kala wajanta bol ala ya kureti fanan out of deep ignorance, profound unknown of what Muhammad is. Kati fomale dama ko sadiqul amin molon dim buka kuma kenza ofo. Brago ko mari de ki ko hani. Yalo ko ko yata baki. Walatin na moment min lon rolo problem won. It is right for a Christian man to marry a Muslim woman. For adata le ban Christian ke as a Muslim muso photo. Yalong minke the problem what it is in Karo, Namara Sanji Wuli killing Kemana and Tansabani war of Qur'an la Bowato. Qur'an Allah Sariyam the Kila Salam Nasuno Vedareaka. But only Kila Bim Ponyan Kanak and Kanak and Jilin Karitawat. Nagola Minke Nawat. Christian Kena Bushina Futu, Avelabana Muntole. Ibuke mi reja fo muso ila futu wala ni la tuma ko duli la bunjan duwala dimo bimbe wulula bitadi na juma be ke mira wala la folo ye mira wala strong. You are not a self-centered person. You become somebody who is selfless. Kolom ikala fi wandi molla nafala walakin islamu be muninati ita fawanda ma wa yuqtiruna ala anfusihim walau kana bihim khassasa ika preference di modula even if they are in need of the situation. Walakin Christian kila futu amanka kuti min zabanno kati diwol bakala Christian walaki illa ma rahma rabbi fa alayki min kanda wala musukan par yalo bi dunya min keda kiramo to mu som bolati som poto keda kiramo alama alay be mako. I want to know about the references, natural sources in the Quran. I want to know the about the revelation. Yes, I want to know the references of natural. I want to know about the references of nature in the Holy Quran. Natural sources in the Holy Quran. Quran obe natural source that for nature. Quran obe kata follow na ikra. Karam. Niye karam o ke doroya no dorobe ko be no. Daje karam na man no doro problem wona da wala. Daje sonko mi bebe dunia fahamu baliyalo. Molka karam bare molna hakilo buka ko jube role ke no. So ninko ikra doro wo fonda maya beban katu biti lola niko ikra da makakaram. During Kabo before Jan in Dunia Reban Taban, Ekala Bismara Begataban. So that in the Quran, Bemu the reference from where Londo. So that every verse in the Quran, Abemu Dalilo Tikatandico Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, Katu Quran, I kill from Mojamaka Karebuka Korosi. Allah in Allah Tosirul Umur. Indicating, establishing and authenticating that there is no truth. Everything is pointing to the existence of a greater being called Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The principle of which is whether the Prophet Isa is the one whom the Christian term as Jesus or one of his Sahabi whom they caught. I would like you to briefly paraphrase on it. Very important, relevant, and very harmonious question to the issue. You see, the problem is when we say Jesus, Jesus is a Hellenized name of Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. So Jesus is not a name that we Muslims actually are going to recognize as the one sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, except out of convenience. Except out of convenience. In Kamala Dorong, Molu Salom. But Ninto Manke Jesus, the Katamilom, Isa alayhi salam, aka kama mfono aka Surianiya lefo. Surianiya dung is a branch of Arabic. Amandinga kama fonamu is a branch of Arabic. Lati mokana julila kamala. Ningo branch of Arabic amanga ko Arabu kamala nulbe uluba nulbe bolati likilindati. Kata ko min ayatihi khalqu samawati wal ard wa ikhtilafi alsinatikum wal bebo tataleya wa ikhtilafu alwanikum. Allah qala the difference is attached to the environment. Balati na mandingol ko kuto keya kala bankole. Omange to nyatiba. So nimbata wala nako eko Jesus mujumalati Jesus wala Isa di Quran wa ya tofe sinyamu wang anin sinyalulu. Ata Jesus ata kerano nimko Jesus zafono atalom Isa ti. Bali nimko Jesus Bible kono ko manke wala fota Isa Quran kono. So akamunta ko tofula lo biya tola mo kile wala minke de fulula mankide. So for that matter manati na konja jam. For Jesus lom ako home the Christians term. Jesus ngoltafula no wala Jesus ntol kola tomo Isa alayhi salam ibn Maryam. Hada malon kila ti Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala na ya tofa akabato ho motije kamin bato ho fatamma kadu dunya mo malla fi kela musoto announce mol kono alaka ho mole ko madama alko Maryama munna musolati afelen ba announce la atol dunta la musoto announce la mol kono plati da ya to announce ko akwamene dunya mutamfa buka jijano ba akwamene dunya mutafa buka jija madha amsaka al-alam likila yatarif aw tataharra bal miya dunya da wala ya muta kadu yiro fo men be banko to sulo miya banko muta wala tinna buka boyno oto ala miya dunya da tele ya muta fo qur'ano kono akoni fulo sawoni banko boy tati male ba mutala akomo ta bola ka fadamma oto miya muta mune mari ka binyini. This man is a well informed student in science. Wala muna ka binyini je wala gravity eka gravitational force lenin gravitational force angane ka wala tani da sajini fal kiyama isinta ko to akoto momente wala ne buwa mi ya lon ko ala ya ke banko kono mi ya tinna ne be ro fa sanda ka muruna banko ka. That's gravitation. Mosafo ko wala ya muta because tilola gravity wala tinna banko ka rotate in an orbit around the sun, isn't it? And the moon is rotating around, revolving around the sun or around the earth. But don't forget that even other planets there, because science has been for 9 planets, but we are saying that the Quran says 11 to 13 planets. And some of the planets have so many moons. One like Jupiter has 12 moons. One like Saturn has almost 9 moons. One like Mars and Neptune has 2 moons each. ولكن القرآن يقول وجعل القمر فيهن نورا والشمس سراجا. سبحان الله. This is science. Al-Kaminian. دليل من نابق. ولكن ندين بلانا من يسبانكو مدافع على. أي من أمتمون سبب لدافع gravitation. وgravitation وبكلانيادي. نقول له ناتا والشمس تجري لمستقر الله. تلو بتاع فاي على مالو يكفو. Nata aka gas wala element from hydrogen to helium. Nimo panta dorong abitale faike munti. Abekela bere balati mimbe ulerin diu. Qur'ano qaybo suratul Rahman. Fa idha shaqqat as-sama fa kanat wardatan kadihan. Ako fa yawmaytin la yus'alu an dhanbihi insun wala jan. Fa bi ayyi ala'i rabbikuma tukaththiban. Ka foylo ka be malale faye ule. Na ule ta be koyda na koyda sembeta tarlaje koten nimbanko be bolina abetakela bero bela aka wala foye ninsa وتنادى المؤمنين إذا السماء اندثرت إذا السماء كورت القيامة. Ako ala di mo so le ka fo mi Jesus. Bari sa yalo min fo mu ka ba ko. Mi ya ni ni ka ro sa fe be ni ka la na tra nu ita mari ye mu so to wala ita mu so le mu die ki so. Mo wala silo kan ai wadi di mo to mo silo kan na. Adunde la suwa kona kwa ye by force tele ni mbulu ini wabita la banda mundu wala masaya wotende kabulo tal bita la banda wala katu o mari be la kulli mabi o mari be la fudusi to mabi ita du ma fa ko na muso wulu ta ko na fudusi dike munati debe di modila alala hey alna mol bi ka bo bi amba dalili kinde folali mo jelle be jasiya dalade ali halon ko dunia is more than 10 billion people dunia kono mote dunia min mo dobolti mote dunia min mo dobolti hani fulan wol man dobolte keri ika fula anin kari kamulunde bar dobolte keri nin dobuloɓe keri ni sinoɗaɓe sinolale kodi madama nin billion momin ɓe keri motije min mo dobuloti oto mi yetededa ota kelano dobuloti allahu akbar akonya ko what is the difference between Quran and Hadith? Akomina mo Quran oni Hadith wala difference de pour mo ya kamala isa fahamu jula ni to mu bindate wala to mu alaji te mo ito le wala de kam bari bri ko tarame wala je de todi la konto wadi la kodi ke bota tarame ko ndai to mu alaji Quran o bota ala ya subhanahu wa ta'ala Quran o e min fudu kila sallallahu ya jindakan litubayyana lin-nasi ka ko indi moli ay balwo minke ay Quran o translate ala balwo kono Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam kana Qur'anan yamshi ala al-ard هو قيامه بترجمة كل النصوص الذي أنزله الله عليه ولنا تك سنتي كمن تكو بدون القرآن لا سنة ولا سنة بدون القرآن كاتونين القرآن والسنة جيتة مويلانو يا فاهمون فكمن تكو سنة مؤمنتي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم أي بارية من جندا كان أيا بوندي سفيري بنداتو أيا كبالو رمال ولا كتا سنة